welcome to the first episode of the Cozy Corner. I'm Sana Azar, your Vice President Welfare at Aston Students Union. I'm a computer science student currently in my placement, and this podcast is going to be welfare and well-being related, but we kind of just going to be talking about everything. Today I have a very, very special guest with me. It's one of my close friends, Gurupma Singh. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Gurupma Singh, like Sana said. Most people just know me as G. I'm currently studying mechanical engineering at Loughborough University, but I actually run my own business called G Team Academy, which helps young adults to find their purpose and to live it out.
So, finding your purpose. So the topic of today's podcast is going to be purpose. So, G, what does purpose mean to you?
That's a good question. I think what purpose means to me is a reason to actually engage with life in itself. I think we all know that there's a lot of personal struggles that everyone goes through, and the only reason to get through them and to continue with life is to have some sort of meaning, some sort of purpose behind what we do.
So why is purpose worth paying attention to? Why do you think?
I think the reason why purpose should be paid attention to is because when it comes to suffering within life, we don't get a warning shot. We don't get anything to prepare us for that. I had a friend who was 19 and he got cancer at 19 years old, and there's absolutely no signs that he was going to get it. There can be moments in every single person's life where something happens and it just completely, it can shatter who you are if you're not prepared for it. Now, the reason why I'm so passionate about purpose is because it gives us an opportunity to form resilience. It's been shown many times through different studies that if we have something that is bigger than ourselves, something that's worth striving towards, then even when we do face setbacks, we're much better equipped to deal with them. So, for example, within my own life, there's been many different times where I felt like, I've had enough, I wanted to quit, I don't want to continue doing what I'm doing. But because I have something that's a lot bigger than me, something that I think is worth striving towards, then I feel I still engage within life, and that makes my life infinitely better.
So, how do you find your purpose then? How do you know what you're meant to do? Because there's a lot of students here, right? Who just come and they just study for the sake of it. They just come to uni for the sake of it, right? So, how do you find your purpose?
No, that's a good question. I think that a lot of people have this idea that, you'll find your purpose and you'll know exactly what it is and everything will work perfectly. However, I don't think that's the actual process to finding your purpose. I think it's just trying out different things and engaging in different things and seeing how you feel about them. The more passionate you feel towards something, the more you should engage in it. So let's say there's a lot of students who come to university, they don't care about their degrees, they don't care about what they're doing, but they'll just come and they'll study because that's what everyone else is doing, right?
Yeah.
If you don't feel connected to the degree that you're doing, then that's a sign that maybe what you're doing isn't for you. And if you're self-aware, you can pay attention to that and think, okay, well, I'm not going to engage in things that I don't feel connected to. And if you do that over a long period of time, like right now, you might have no idea what your purpose is. But if you just pay attention to how you feel about different activities, then over time, you'll start to find out, okay, what is it that I actually care about? What provides meaning to my life?
So which course are you doing?
So I'm doing mechanical engineering.
And you told me that you're about to change it or something?
Yeah. So I was thinking about dropping out, not because I don't enjoy mechanical engineering. I really do enjoy it. And the reason why I was thinking about dropping out was because I'm actually running my own business, and that's going really well at the moment. So I would much rather focus my energy on that, because I know that for me, at this age, what's more important than a degree is spending time doing things that I love, building those skills up, spending time on things that I believe can help people. So that's why I am still on edge of dropping out of uni and pursuing that full time.
Right. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your business?
Yeah, of course. So G Team Academy essentially provides young adults with the structure, direction, and clarity that they need to create a more meaningful life. So the way that we do that is primarily through our coaching. So we sit down with a range of different people and we just ask them questions. University is great for focusing on okay, what kind of job do you want, right? Let's make you more employable. But how often does it ask you well, how are you feeling about your life?
Yeah.
Okay, like what kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What things are meaningful to you? Like these questions are never asked, but they're significantly more important than what you study. So what we try to do is we facilitate that conversation of helping people to understand, okay, what do I want my life to consist of? Where do I want my motivation to come from? What's the reason that I'm getting out of bed in the morning? So that's what we'll do is we'll sit with them and we'll talk through this and give them a clear idea of where they're going with their life and how to make it better if they're not happy with the way that it is.
But like you said, you enjoy mechanical engineering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then how come you started your own like business then? Where did that come from?
So I think the main reason I started my business is just because I've seen so many people around me that they weren't pursuing the things that they actually cared about. And I knew that they had so much potential.
Mm-hmm.
And watching them throw their potential away just to get a safe job, just to go into a career that their parents pressured them into, I was like, that's not right. And I know they're going to grow up to regret that. So I wanted to give people the tools, the understanding of how they can actually start to build a better life for themselves.
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually a business that I started originally. When I first started, I actually just started making YouTube videos and videos on Instagram. And I was just posting them like regularly, talking about different skills that you can develop, how you can develop, how I've developed them myself. Once I started posting, they started getting a bit of traction and people started reaching out to me saying, oh, I really like what you're doing. This is really relevant for students. Is there any way that I can help out? Slowly but surely, we put together a team. There was quite a bit of interest. We currently now have a team of 12 people. And we just started working on like, okay, how can we provide value to students? How can we help them to develop these skills that they need?
Yeah.
We did that for about a year and a half, and then we were like, you know what it is? We love doing this so much, we're going to try and make it into a lifestyle for us.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, we just said, okay, this is no longer a project, this is a business, and this is the way that I'm going to support myself in the future because I love what I'm doing so much.
Yeah, I remember when me and G met, it was like he was doing the YouTube videos and the reels on Insta and stuff like that. And it's just so nice to see how much you've grown as a person and like your business as well. That now you're just doing. You recently had a conference at London, right?
Yeah,
what was
that's
that
right.
About?
Yeah, so we hosted a personal growth and networking conference, and again, it was just to kind of open up that conversation of understanding, well, what do I want to do with my life, and also have a room of people that are talking to each other that really want the best for themselves and the people around them too. Like the environment that we created in that conference was just something that I've never personally experienced before because everyone who was there was just so interested in growing, so interested in meeting other people and helping other people out that it was just honestly one of the best experiences of my life.
Right. How about like, is there an age to when you find your purpose or something? Because, and I feel like it comes with experience as well, doesn't it? Because when like age, probably like 2 years ago, I never knew what I was doing. But then I got so passionate about mental health because of my experiences, because of like the anxiety, depression, OCD that I've started discovering. And that's how I became so passionate. And when I got this role as well, I thought maybe like that's my purpose, to raise awareness about mental health and well-being. But then I feel like there's people that might be in their 50s and they still don't know what they're doing with life.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Firstly, just to answer the question of is there an age tied to purpose? The answer is definitely no. We were hosting some workshops and it was mainly for like university students, and we had this 27-year-old who came in and she was like, you know, I've literally just found out what my purpose is like over the past month or so. And these kids were like 19 and they were saying like, oh, I don't know what it is, I feel like I need to know now. So when they heard the 27-year-old saying like, no, actually I've just found mine out now and that's completely fine, they were relieved, like, oh, there's not a specific age that you have to find it by. And I think that's important as well. Like there isn't a specific age. It's just being self-aware enough to the point where if something does come along and it could be your purpose, you know that, yeah, I can potentially pursue it or I can look into it. But most people don't give themselves that space. They don't allow themselves to think in that certain way because it's so uncommon for people our age to pursue purpose. Most of the time that what people our age do is just focus on pursuing pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you mentioned that you get pressure from family as well. And I think that could be like a cultural thing as well, because I feel like we're Desis, right? We know that we need to go to high school and then college and then uni, get that degree, and then become a doctor or an engineer or something, right? How do you get out of that loop? Because you've done it.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
gonna drop out of engineering now, and you still haven't told your parents as well.
so it's not easy. I mean, I remember when I first started doing my business, I told my dad about it. The first thing he said is, "Don't do it if it's got nothing to do with uni." So he just shut it down completely, and that's fair enough. That's because that's their experiences, and they want the best for me, and the way that they see the best is just education. But I know that there's so many gaps within the education system, which is why I was prepared to even with that. I was like, you know what it is? No, I know that this is meaningful enough. I know that this is more important that even if everyone turned around and said, don't do this, it's going to fail, it's not going to work, I would still pursue it anyways. Yeah. So what I'd say is try to find something, when it comes to your purpose, try to find something that is bigger than you. Not just, oh yeah, like this is something that I'm passionate about or something that makes me happy. It's like, no, what I'm doing, it helps people. It can change their lives. So I knew that I couldn't give up on that no matter what. So that's what I'd recommend. If you're gonna go back to your parents and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna be a doctor anymore. I'm gonna try and start my own business or something like that," then make sure that what you're doing you've got enough purpose, you've got enough motivation behind what you're doing that you're not gonna quit. Because, like I said, things will always get hard. But if you have that purpose, then you'll be more resilient. You'll be more prepared for it.
I think I kind of relate to that because when I told my parents that I wanted to go for the welfare role, the first question was, how does that relate to computer science? And obviously it does not.
Yeah.
With software engineering it doesn't, but because I was so passionate about it, even today I had such a stressful day, but when I go back home I'm like, I'm doing what I love doing, which keeps me going and it gives me motivation.
Yeah. Imagine if you had a 9-to-5 job that you hate. It's like, there's no way you're going home at night excited about the next day. Exactly. But for you, it's like you found something that you enjoy doing. Every day you can get excited about your day. Like, that means so much. And especially over the long term, it's like you love what you're doing for 10 years compared to someone who hates what they're doing for 10 years. At the end of that 10 years, you're going to be two completely different people. So,
does purpose always just mean that you need to be successful at something?
Oh, no. By no means does it mean you have to be successful. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. So when I first started, like, when I started posting on Instagram, and even if you go to my Instagram now, if you go to the very bottom, you'll see posts that had like 0 likes, 1 like. In no one's eyes does that look successful, right? But you keep going, I keep persevering. I loved it back then. I was like, yeah, no likes, great. I think it's great because I'm like, well, it's not the result that I'm looking for. It's not the outward image that I care about. It's the fact that I know I'm doing something that's worthwhile, and I stuck with it. And I mean, we hosted a conference. Like, we're working with universities. I'm working with like semi-professional footballer now. Like, there's so many different things that are going on that it's like, yeah, I didn't do it for the result. I didn't do it for it to look good. I did it because I thought it was meaningful. And that's the only reason I persevered. That's the only reason I stuck with it long enough to see it through.
So going back to like the whole university life and stuff, how do students know what to choose? How are they meant to know what's right for them before applying to university?
Well,
and while they do the course, how are they meant to know, oh, I'm not enjoying this because I don't like it? Or like, I'm not enjoying this because it's just hard or something, like, you know, because some people, because they might go home and be like, I'm not enjoying this, and the parents be like, maybe the course is just too hard, just study harder, it's going to be fine. But how do you know that this is not the right thing for you?
That's a difficult question to answer. I would say when it comes to university, the first thing is don't come in with the expectation that your course is perfect for you. Like, it might be, it might not be. But just be self-aware enough to understand, okay, am I actually enjoying what I'm doing day in, day out? I think university is also really tricky because it's not a good representation of real life work. So you could go and you could study business, or you could build a business, right? Those are two completely different worlds. I know people who study business, they say that they hate it. I know people who start a business, they say that they love it. It's like, it's completely different. So try and simulate as much as you can to what your day-to-day life would be, to what your lifestyle would be. And that's going to give you a much better indication, because like, studying medicine and being a doctor, it's like two different worlds. So even when you're studying, don't just think about, okay, this is the exam results, this is what it's like to be lectured. Like, think about, what does my life look after this?
But like, you know, you know when you already started a course, imagine you're in your first year, right?
Mhm.
And then you're like, oh, I really don't like it, and I feel like
Yeah.
it's not for me.
Yeah.
And then you're going through the whole pressure of changing the course, of finding the right course for you, and then going back home and telling your family that I'm changing the course. How would you deal with the whole stress?
Yeah, I mean, if you just map it out and think about it over time, you'd realize that it would be foolish for you to continue doing something that you hate doing. And even if you just think about that one decision and say, okay, I'm gonna ignore how I'm feeling to please other people, or for me to look a certain way, okay, that might work once. But you do that again, then you do that again, then you do that again. It builds up, and there's no way that you're going to create a life that you're actually happy with.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're going to sleep at night and be content with who you are, be content with your life. So if you actually sat down and even just if you wrote out, like, okay, this is how I'm feeling about university. These are the reasons why I'd want to quit. These are the reasons why I'd want to stay. And you sit and you actually look at that and you think about it properly, you could make a decision pretty quickly, right? And if you're struggling with that, let me know, and we'll have a call and we can talk about it.
Sure. But like, okay, let's look at the positives. How would you know if a course is for you? If you're on the right track?
If time
Because
passes
with me
really,
sometimes, right? I'm like, sometimes I feel like computer science is for me and I'm on the right track and this is the thing that I'm meant to be doing, right? But then at other times when it gets too hard, I'm like, maybe this is not for me. And then I'm just 50-50. Then how are you meant to know?
I mean, everything gets too hard at
is
some
for you.
point. Yeah. So everything gets too hard at some points. What I'd say is that if you want to know if you enjoy something, when you're doing it, you'll forget about the time. Like you just do it and you'll be doing it for hours and you won't even think about it. That's what I'm with the work that I do. I'll do it, like I'm literally in sessions, I'm delivering workshops, I'm delivering talks, I'm like, man, this is so fun. Like the time doesn't even process. But of course there's times where it's difficult, right? That's granted. No matter what career you do, no matter what course you go into, things are going to be difficult for you. So you've got to also understand that it's not about picking a perfect life where everything is easy. A lot of the time it's pick your poison. Like, yeah, things are going to suck at some point. Yeah, things are going to be difficult, but that's part of the process. That's part of what you've signed up for.
Yeah.
And even the difficult times, sometimes there's gratitude that you can find within them. Like, yeah, I'm glad that I'm doing this difficult thing instead of that difficult thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say. If you can find gratitude, then you're probably in the right course.
So like, you know how it says sometimes people just go uni for the sake of it and do a degree just for the sake of it, right? Why do you think people give up on their purpose?
So I think one is just societal pressure.
Yeah.
Like parents say do this, family say do that. Like, I think another one is just lack of clarity. People are unsure. So if something else comes up, then they just go with it. There was actually a really cool quote that that I heard recently is, if you don't know where you're going, then no wind is favorable.
Explain, man. You just said it like that. I'm like, what did you just say?
So it means that, like, if you don't have a direction that you're heading towards, it doesn't make a difference like what's going on, what adversity you're facing, because, or even what good things happen to you, because there's no like end point. You're just kind of subject to everything that's happening to you at once. So yeah, I think that the quote to me was like self-explanatory. I can't really articulate as well I'd like to, but that was the quote for me.
But don't you think some people might be like, oh, finding this purpose thing or whatever just complicates life, I might as well just go with the flow? And
it's not a feasible option. It's not. I mean, you can try it, and if it works out for you, then message me and let me know about it.
yeah.
But I can almost guarantee you
I'm
it
gonna
won't.
G's Insta in a bit, by the way, just so you guys can just bombard his DMs like, how do I find purpose? Am I doing the right course?
Yeah, please do. But the reason why it's not a feasible option is because, like I said, things happen, and mate, that's it. Like if, let's say, right, my friend got cancer when he was 19.
Yeah.
Okay. If he wasn't resilient in any way, shape, or form, he would have killed himself. And he's admits it very clearly. that's it. That would have been it for me. There's points where even then he was thinking about it. He was like, "Nah, I'm done." But because he had something bigger than himself to work towards, because he was thinking about the other people that were around him, because he had goals within his life that he was striving towards, he was like, no, actually, I want to stay. I've actually got things that I'd want to do. I've got things that are better than just going with the flow. Because if you just go with the flow and life hits you, you're not going to be able to recover from it because you got no reason to.
So, like, what do you think your purpose is? Have you found your purpose?
So this is the thing. I don't have a defined purpose where it's just one specific thing that I'm trying to do. My purpose is more broad than that. It's more about doing absolutely everything I can in my power to be in a position where I can help as many people as possible. And it seems broad, and it's okay for it to be broad. It doesn't have to be specific. But it's clear enough to me that I know when I wake up, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And also I know the legacy that I'm going to leave behind.
Yeah, I feel like it just feels nice, like, when you just know what you're doing, even if it's like a vague thing in your mind. Because me as like obviously Vice President of Welfare, I know that I just love helping people out, and now I have this opportunity to do it, and I feel like that's my purpose, spreading awareness. Yeah. And even if in the mornings I find it really hard to wake up, I just know like
you've got something.
I've got something to work towards.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, what's nice about it is that like my purpose might sound vague, but I can wake up, like message one person just to ask them how they're doing, and that's me living out my purpose.
Exactly,
like you could do one post and that's it. Like a lot of people think, oh, purpose comes with so much pressure. You've got to do this, you've got to do that. It's like, no, it depends on like what extent you want to take it to. When you feel comfortable, yeah, you can increase it, you can do what you want with it, but just having that overall framework that I live my life within is something that I think.
And success doesn't only mean having a degree.
No, it definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't.
Because to me, success was when so many people signed up for my women's only yoga. I was over the moon. I was like, that's success for me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't only mean that you have to be at the top, live in a mansion, have nice cars, and yeah. Okay, so one last thing I'm gonna get everyone to do at the end of the episode is give one piece of advice or something that you could say to the whole world something that you would want to say to the whole world if you could. So yeah, take it away.
So my advice would be to spend time with yourself, understand what you want from life rather than what everyone else wants from you. So just give yourself that space to understand how can you create a better life for yourself. Like just sit and think, okay, what's one thing that I could do today that would make today good, and it would also contribute to the rest of my life being that little bit better. And if you can do something like that every day, then over time your life will be great.
And it's gonna make such a positive impact as well. Honestly, like I've started spending so much time with myself and have my prioritize my personal space, and it's been so good for me. You know, it really just puts everything into a different perspective, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. It's been Sana and
Karutma.
I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Loughborough.
Alright, no worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Alright, bye guys. Bye.
Bye.